Hi, this is Mina, and I spent about a week testing more or less viral breakfast recipes that I found on TikTok. Sometimes I would follow these ideas very closely, other times not so much. But yeah, here's how that went. I decided to start filming this video on a Saturday. It was such nice weather that I simply had to leave my house and buy myself a coffee and a little treat. As I was waiting for my coffee, I noticed these two strangers becoming friends, which is really cute. Anyway, on to my TikTok recipe for the day.
Introducing you to your new favorite speedy breakfast, scrambled oats.
This was really easy and straightforward. I brought a non-stick skillet with a bit of coconut oil to medium heat. In the meantime, I mashed up a banana and then added the remaining ingredients. Oats, cinnamon, salt, that is it. All that's left to do is transferring this to the skillet and making sure to kind of press down the mixture, creating one abstract pancake. Give this about 30 seconds to a minute to crisp up before breaking everything up into a scramble. And then you allow this to cook for another 2 to 3 minutes or so, mixing here and there. I feel like I've done a recipe like this before. At this point, I've done so many recipes that I cannot remember them all. This is really good. I'm currently working on a presentation, and it is called, if you're curious, A Beginner's Guide to the Unhinged World of Fanfiction. Basically, my friend asked me, what do you want to yap about at this PowerPoint evening that I'm going to tonight? There's so many aspects of fanfiction that I just find so fascinating. Yes, it can be cringy and strange, but it can also be fun. So my hope is to just convince the people that I'm presenting to pick up a fanfiction or two. The thing is, I only know 3 people at this party. I do not know what the crowd is going to be like and if they will understand any of the references that I'm making.
So long, London.
So long, London. Oh, it's track number 5.
Okay.
Land of the free. However,
And so it starts to shine like a rainbow, and it really looks like there was a rainbow inside, like.
The following day, I made these mini banana pancakes inspired by this TikTok. It's by Ilona, who I've met before. She's really nice, and she has a very cool, cute, distinct style when it comes to her food content. Definitely check her out. I did use my own pancake batter recipe here. First mixing together the flour, salt, and baking powder, and then adding all the wet ingredients: unsweetened soy yogurt, plant-based milk, and vinegar. Then you once again bring a non-stick skillet with a bit of coconut oil to medium heat. You cut a banana into chunks and just dip the chunks into the pancake batter using 2 forks before pan frying them for about 2 minutes on each side. Mine were definitely a bit wonky looking at first, but they do kind of bake into shape eventually. Once again, I served this with some strawberries, a little bit of syrup. Again, plain yogurt would be good, or a chocolate spread, like in the TikTok. Next up, we're making something savory. The other day, I found this little wrap TikTok that looked quite intriguing. So instead of the egg, I'm going for a chickpea flour-based mixture, combining said flour, baking powder, salt, and spices such as curry powder, black pepper, and then I'm mixing all of that with some plant-based milk. Or actually, this is some vegan cream that I diluted by adding some water, but you know, same thing. And I also added some white wine vinegar here. Use a whisk to make sure that everything is thoroughly incorporated. And then set this aside for just a few minutes. In the meantime, grab a non-stick skillet with a little bit of oil and bring that to medium. And also cut up some tomato and some avocado. For my first try, I evenly distributed the chickpea mixture inside the pan and let everything cook for about 3 minutes. Now, this is the point where I forget to flip the quote-unquote egg. and simply just added all the fillings directly on top. We've got tomato, vegan cheese, spinach, avocado, chili mayo, some sesame seeds. Only upon folding this in half did I realize that I accidentally created an inside-out version. And so here is my second attempt. You know, everything in the video just happened so fast. It was hard to keep up. Are you guys gonna believe me when I tell you that the inside out version tasted about 1,000,000 times better? I think it's because it allows the chickpea egg to just crisp up for longer. Not that the other version is bad, it's really yummy too, but from now on I'm definitely going to go with the inside out one. And I highly recommend you do too. Before going to bed, I decided to test out the recipe for these meal prepped tiramisu flavored baked oats. So first, I preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius and lined a baking pan with wet parchment paper. Then to a large mixing bowl, I added the rolled oats, some protein powder. I'm using plant-based cookie dough flavored protein powder. And then I'm also adding some baking powder here and some salt and giving everything a quick mix. As for the wet ingredients, we've got some mashed banana and some non-dairy milk. Last but not least, I'm adding the dark chocolate chips. And the coffee, which I almost forgot. You know, to give this at least a faint tiramisu resemblance, I went for strong filter coffee instead of the instant coffee that was written in the recipe. Okay, so this goes into the oven for 35-ish minutes, and then I just let this cool overnight. In the morning, I added some plain yogurt, followed by a dusting of cacao powder. Now, does this taste of actual tiramisu? No, but this is still quite a fun breakfast to have. And the way it's set up, it definitely reminds you of eating a dessert. And I especially love the addition of the chocolate chips. Since this was a huge meal prep batch and I am just one person, I ended up having this for breakfast the following day and then the day after that. And then I think I also snacked on this throughout my week. But yeah, it was really good and definitely cool to have an entire tray of breakfast just sitting and waiting for you in the fridge. Moving on to these summery, savory yogurt bowls that I made the following day for my mom and I. They're truly so good and so different to what I would normally have in the morning. There is a little bit of prep work involved, but it's really simple. First, I made sure that the oven was set to 200 degrees Celsius. Then I rinsed about half a can of chickpeas and transferred them to a casserole dish. You could also just use a regular baking sheet here. I added some olive oil, salt, and white wine vinegar. Then I pushed the chickpeas to one side, creating some room for the baby carrots, which I first cut in half, and then also added some extra olive oil and salt too. I put the sheet into the oven for about 30 minutes, or until the chickpeas were crispy and the carrots cooked and slightly charred. Now onto the yogurt. I'm making 2 servings here, and it's simply just mixing the unsweetened soy yogurt with some freshly chopped dill, a clove of garlic that I crushed using a garlic press, if that's what it's also called in English. I also added some olive oil, white wine vinegar, and salt. Adding pepper is probably a good idea as well, but I don't think I added any. I divided the yogurt mix equally between the 2 bowls, or bowl plates, and then I topped this with firstly some cress, or microgreens, some olives, the roasted chickpeas, and carrots, and then finished everything off with an additional sprinkle of salt and cumin. We had some of this sesame pretzel bun bread on the side, which fits super nicely. It reminds me a lot of Turkish cuisine, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, this was really nice, so simple, would definitely make again. Good morning, although I shouldn't be saying good morning. It isn't morning at all. My sleep schedule has been all over the place. Yeah. Once I'm asleep, I'm fine. It's just getting there. I think one of the primary reasons why I cannot fall asleep easily is because I am panicked over the fact that I cannot fall asleep easily. And so it's just a vicious cycle. I am so envious of people that can sleep anywhere and are just able to fall asleep super fast. Teach me your ways, please. I guess I have to establish good night routine habits again because I've been slacking on those a lot. But anyway, for breakfast today, I've been seeing these quick to make Korean fried rice breakfast bowls everywhere lately, and I really just want to make a vegan one. It looks really good and really simple. Yeah, I already have some rice ready that is cooling down at the moment. Let's do it. I haven't looked at the TikToks too closely. I'm really gonna be just improvising. First, I am putting together my go-to crispy pan-fried tofu, cutting some firm plain tofu into pieces and then combining those with some cornstarch and salt. In the background, there's a skillet with a bit of oil heating to medium, and I'm just letting the tofu cook for about 8 minutes, stirring frequently. In a separate bowl, I'm putting together the sauce. It's made with gochujang, soy sauce, olive oil, because I didn't have any sesame oil, a bit of agave syrup, sesame seeds, and vinegar, also a little bit of water. I spontaneously decided to add some spinach to the tofu. I then took the spinach and tofu out of the pan, setting it aside for a bit. Yeah, and then I added the cooked rice, breaking it up a bit, and then I poured in the spicy sauce. Giving the rice a chance to crisp up for like a minute or two, and then mixing again, and then letting it crisp up again for a bit. Once the rice was overall slightly crispy, I added the spinach and tofu back in. And then served it up, together with some store-bought tahini sauce and more sesame seeds. This was possibly my favorite recipe from this week. Yeah. If you have a second, give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what videos you want to see from me next. Yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day, good rest of your week. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye!